Majority.
Majority. Majority.
Majority.
Majority.
Air conditioning. I miss going to the bathroom and being able to shut a door like most people. I'm not the weird one. I'm in the majority. I'm in the majority. I'm in the majority. I'm leaving.
And the majority of time spent out here is cloudy down days.
We'll place weapons on all sides, but the majority will meet his men here.
You leave us no choice. Senors, let us answer the call for new leadership. A majority of 7 is required.
Well, at least it seems like we have the majority of it down.
Yeah. You shaved thousands off the majority. You did splendidly.
Not splendidly enough.
We need to concentrate ad spending in places where women spend the majority of their time. For example, large chain grocery stores.
And since he only has one house?
He only gets one vote. No way he gets a majority.
The new United States of America, in which you are majority leader.
President felt presumptuous. We're still very much a work in progress.
Oh, I'm late. Every Tuesday, I sit down with the Speaker and the Majority Leader to discuss the week's agenda.
The new governor will oversee redistricting. We lose seats here. That means we could lose our majority in Washington.
Carly will love it. The majority whip's wife stabs him in the back.
Okay, right. I can't. All you need is a simple majority, 218 votes, and we're going to get...
I don't know, Frank.
Think about it, Terry. You could become the first African-American majority leader in the United States Congress.
Associate.
Associate. Associate.
Associate.
Associate.
You've got henchmen in your cell? Cool.
We prefer the term associate.
Fung.
Hello, dear. Hey. Hi. From Galweatherstern.
You can go in.
Great.
Your associate's already in with Mr. Pincus.
Our associate? Associate? It's in there.
Mr. Dobbs, I'd like to introduce you to my associate, James Maine.
Mr. Maine.
Hey, I'm Dan, the security man.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't see you back there. It's my associate, Bob. Actually, he's my brother. He's a simple.
I know the wedding hasn't been the smoothest. Do you seriously think, under any circumstances, I would allow my daughter to associate with you, the backpacker?
And now, since we've had a little change of plan between the police showing up and you sucking out all of my associates, I want you to break into the vault.
Timothy Harris, location manager.
Marianne Boyd, screenwriter.
Rachel DeWart, production designer.
Sean Bissett, associate producer.
All right, let's go make a movie.
You're harassing a U.S. attorney. I want your name so I can charge you with slander.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's Neil Caffrey. I'm Agent Burke's criminal informant. I'm also an associate of Curtis Hagen, and I stole the coins you were paid with.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Rebecca Lowe. Who referred me?
An associate? From Zurich?
I'm not a Fed.
Peter Burke, FBI. This is my associate, Neil Caffrey. This is my Mozzie.
And who are you?
He's my associate.
You leaving me with him? He's an animal.
But that's what makes him such an effective and loyal associate.
I want you to go to Turkey and track this woman.
Who is she?
Former associate of Nikita's, someone she became rather close to during her time at Division.
She and her associate killed half of my men. I cannot let that stand.
Neglect.
Neglect. Neglect. Neglect.
Neglect.
Mina. Popular choice in decorative office greenery. Thrives even when neglected. Neglected.
Tom, when you neglect the cases that we assign you, you neglect the client. You neglect the client. You neglect the client.
Our protective services took him away from his mother with suspicion of abuse and neglect.
And lament you neglected my offering a whiskey.
Why?
as yourself.
Splendid.
Do not forget your other daughter, sir, whom you have deigned to neglect these past 2 years. Sit down, Georgiana.
There is crap about your fantasies of death, and all the while he was implying my neglect. Neglect, Eleanor, of you!
Stop it, Claire!
Good. I would propose a toast to our renewed spirit of collaboration, but I've neglected to pour myself a coffee. James Dillon had sold Rada Hollingsworth her viatical. I did some cursory research into his background. Research his employers had apparently neglected to do. So in my haste to get away from sucking chest wound, I neglected to ask you what I'm helping you with.
The incompetence of its managers, the neglect of its lords.
Gabriella Dawson is charged with willful neglect of protocol and of practicing a medical procedure that she was neither trained nor certified.
No, I have been trained in that procedure.
Bucktown. We're looking to bring in the new families that have moved in and have thus far been neglected.
Audience.
Audience. Audience. Audience.
Audience.
Emoticon performs at like every pep rally.
School spirit?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to be some rando screaming at him from the audience? Audience.
I wouldn't.
Arrivals and departures run side by side.
You're a first audience. You're a first audience. You're a first audience, you know?
Need an audience. An audience. An audience.
You need it, don't you?
Sir, we have an audience.
Commander Wigan.
Only as the mayor, who until now has never been seen in public, we do want to warn our audience that some of these images are graphic.
Maybe you just go ahead and anoint you king of Chester's Mill.
Shut your mouth, Jim. No audience down here.
Let me kill this man for you.
Very well. You have quite an audience. Make it worth their while.
Your Grace. His Don is here, waiting in the audience chamber.
Lee, Hunter, Idaho.
What's the word?
In his office.
Director requests an audience.
The man doesn't do requests. And listen,
they should have stuck to juggling.
They were just trying to help save the circus.
Well, they wanted more time in front of the audience.
Oh, did he?
I know how to please an audience.
Lives in the Tea Tree Apartments over on Naylor.
Any family?
Just his audience, as far as I know.
Man, that's just sad.
Threat. Threat.
Threat.
Threat.
Threat.
The lifestyle makes me weak. Look, I'm not a threat to you. Look, I'm not a threat to you. Look, I'm not a threat to you. Oh, your boy. I need to be on your property. I'd rather there's no contact at all. I'm gonna stay in the fields.
My lord, I believe riding is no longer a threat to you. No longer a threat to you. No longer a threat to you.
Why?
Until I'm confident you're no longer a threat to others. No longer a threat to others. No longer a threat to others.
Well, of course he does. And the FBI. They're taking a threat in Cincinnati pretty seriously.
On the move, make no mistake. What is happening in Spain it's a threat to our democracy as well.
By Rosenbach said the bulk of the identifiable sources are the threat assessments. It's 14,000 documents. But if you hold those...
Investigation overlook anyone. Search even those that you suspect the least, for the threat may reside anywhere.
We haven't been able to negotiate with the Grounders because we haven't had anything to offer them. The biggest threat they face is from the Reapers.
She posed no threat to anyone other than her father.
Titus Delancey might disagree.
How's the new gig?
It's nice people. Big job, but the threat briefings we get, I used to sleep better.
I don't get paid enough to have arrows shot at me. You need to take this guy seriously. He's a bigger threat to your operation than Nocenti ever was.
I just think he poses a greater threat to all of us.
But you're surrounded by people who constantly underestimate the threat they're up against.
Survey.
Survey. Survey.
Survey.
Survey.
The title survey, title survey, title survey, and gene print identification from Wilson Trusts.
Okay. About 100 credits is a terraforming survey. Survey.
No, if it's a survey, they would just tell us.
Don't be calling me no loiterer. I pick up and throw away any trash I see.
According to local authorities, the homeless survey was reported as harassment.
Survey. Yeah, a survey.
Exactly what sort of a survey are the two of you conducting?
They are before and after surveys from Sarkeesian and Weller's experiments.
Ever since then, this chair has resided here atop my fort from which I survey the harbor.
I will come with you to Nassau. Survey the situation. If it is as you say it is, you and I will sail to London together.
Whose ship?
It's a survey vessel. At least that's what they claimed.
Yeah.
This is a U.S. geological survey of the tectonic plates running underneath Starling City.
Who knows what other damage they've caused? I've got to survey our water supply, determine how to find another source of power.
Right. Look,
Of my initial survey, more than half our crops are already infested with caterpillars.
The survey will provide us with the proper information to get everyone the resources they need.
How long will it take to survey the tunnel and locate the temple?
We just need to do a quick survey of the residents, make sure the environment here is reflective of the terms of your probation.
Squeeze.
Squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze.
Squeeze.
Yeah, you're better than that guy.
Okay, fuck it. Okay, fuck it.
Squeeze it out, squeeze it out, squeeze it out, and fucking, yeah.
Behind the shoulder. Just relax. Breathe out and squeeze, and squeeze, and squeeze.
Easy. Control your breathing. Squeeze the trigger. Squeeze the trigger. Squeeze the trigger. Don't pull it.
Now you're doing it. Squeeze. Squeeze it like a sturgeon.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'm sure I'll be able to squeeze in some downtime.
I can do it. I can't just squeeze you onto something, Mike. You're too green.
One of them goes through that door, you squeeze, and you don't stop until they're on the ground.
I squeeze some orange juice. You want a glass of orange juice?
Who's playing on the main stage? Just in case we have time to squeeze in a show.
Do you remember Will Sorensen?
Your old FBI squeeze?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So really encourage the child to squeeze the bear.
What the hell?
I imagine it must be so exciting to squeeze your finger here and...
He came at me, grabbed me by the neck, and squeezed so hard.
Now when I squeeze your shoulder, that's when you say the magic word, okay?
Sweetheart, you don't want to squeeze the trigger too hard, all right? Nice and easy, you understand? Don't squeeze the gun too hard. Take it easy. Okay.
Wisdom. Wisdom.
Wisdom. Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Deeply touched me with your person, with your wisdom, with your wisdom, with your wisdom, your courage, your kindness.
Today, looking for you. No school?
No, I got some teeth pulled today.
Wisdom teeth? Wisdom teeth? Wisdom teeth?
Sugar rock.
Thanks. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. And what's that?
Lady Cassia, come sit beside me. Give me the benefit of your wisdom. Hey.
Cool.
So, got any words of wisdom for a kid trying to make it in the world?
Why? The knowledge and wisdom within must endure in case we are unable to stop him.
I would never try to replace you. With age comes wisdom.
I know, Master Chow.
Thanks for the foxy wisdom.
It's temporary.
I'm told that some people are just nice. I'm trying to embrace that wisdom. You'll just try to find someone else, and it won't work, and it shouldn't work. So that's the great wisdom you're imparting?
You're so obsessed with me getting laid. Because it works for me. It's called passing on wisdom. Also pimping.
Modification. Modification. Modification.
Modification.
Modification.
We made some modifications to the uniform. Modifications to the uniform. Modifications to the uniform. I had a little design input.
The uniform? Aren't the stars and stripes a little...
Come from
This is called a praxinoscope, although it made a few modifications. It allows you to project an image into space. Impossible.
Have you ever heard of body modification? Body modification? Body modification? Something that could have been sent over email.
They run the largest body modification website in the world, abstract.me.
I've heard of it.
Every simulation has been run. Every system modification has been made.
In lieu of the one that the phone comes with, we've seen this kind of modification twice recently.
Sebastian Moran, Daniel Gottlieb.
Even with the modifications to his various features, I've been unable to generate a facial recognition match to anyone in the NYPD database. But his modifications to your company's software made the hunts possible, so you found that risk acceptable.
With the proper modifications, the nanotech can be applied to the miniaturization of key components.
Nay, these modifications can be activated with Terrigen crystals.
What? With a few modifications, yes.
These two. This one, the one they call Deathlock, his modifications are mechanical, bestowed by science, by man.
Expectation.
Expectation.
Expectation. Expectation.
Expectation.
Our goal and our expectation is by mid-July to be within 7 games of first. That would be this working.
That keeps us in the hunt.
Abomination to the Lord. Now, when a wicked man dies, his expectations shall perish, and the hope of unjust man perisheth.
What I expect, Matthew, is that we won't know how to behave, so if you don't mind, I would rather not confirm their expectations.
Inform you of how thrilled Senator McCain is. You're exceeding his wildest expectation for what a running mate could achieve.
I am so happy to hear that.
Just like her. Always expecting the worst from people.
Funny how often people exceed those expectations.
Bureau always has an expectation of the amount of drugs we might recover from a bust.
I had very low expectations of him and of sponsorship in general. Didn't think I needed either. On something. You're welcome to assist me, but I have no expectation of that. She's asked only for my genetic material. Her expectation as to my involvement in the child's life would end there.
What did you say?
Insurance they don't need anymore.
We'll keep moving forward, but we have to manage expectations now.
Agent Harris, I'm not going to manage expectations. I'll be solving a murder. And Fitz really wants a dog.
Thought he wanted a monkey.
Guess he readjusted his expectations.
Always deliberate.
You gave me an assignment with high expectations. I'll meet them, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Saving.
Saving.
Saving. Saving.
Saving.
It was Zach who was ruining your life. I was saving you. Saving you. Saving you.
On behalf of the Nova Corps, we'd like to express our profound gratitude for your help in saving Xandar. Saving Xandar. Saving Xandar.
It's a fixed-rate CD set in at 2%. It's like a savings account. Savings account. Savings account.
This is definitely not me saving the world.
I want to thank you for saving my life, and
That's a nice fishing boat. For a guy with a worker's pension. I've been saving for it.
To Paris.
No way, you're kidding.
Yes, I've been saving credit card miles for 8 years, and I finally have enough.
Oh.
Well, in the end, Leonardo's aid was instrumental in saving my life.
I think we're dead. And all that, whatever the hell we want, you just care about saving your own skin.
Thanks for saving me. Take care.
I get captured here. I'm not changing anything. I'm saving the statue. We can take them.
The selfish dragon warrior. Saving himself while others are left unsaved through his not saving them.
Okay, guy, hand over all your... Thanks for saving me from those bandits. Here's your reward.
And I didn't get a chance to properly thank you for saving my life.
Oh, there's no need, Castle. We're partners.
Bond.
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 Bond. I thought the journey would help you bond. But since you don't want to be a team, there's nothing I can do.
What am I doing?
You're trying to bond. Bond. Bond.
No, I'm not.
Why did you cry? Because I felt safe. Because I was surrounded by my brothers.
Brothers have a bond that goes beyond friendship.
Bring them in, you get 10% of the bond. Adds up.
Yeah.
Well, that's hilarious. I feel like you guys got some sort of special bond or something.
Yo, I used to have a special bond.
Ionic bonds. Chapter 6.
Our contract is our bond. If we break our bond, no one will hire the second sons again.
And in order to forge a lasting bond with the Marinese people, I will marry the leader of an ancient family.
Our bond always allowed me to know what you were thinking.
Even a dyad's bond is nothing compared to theirs.
You know, trying to bond with me. So save your breath.
It's in the contract, but he's gonna pay me $45,000 for the storefront. That, with what little I got saved, I can pay that bond.
Reckon. Reckon.
Reckon. Reckon. Reckon.
And how do you reckon? How do you reckon? How do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon we did. Yeah, I reckon we did. Yeah, I reckon we did.
It's an odd thing to say. But, I reckon this would be the highlight of your trip.
Kama Sutra.
I reckon you owe me that for the past 2 years.
Well, I reckon I'd best get you home then.
How much you reckon this house is worth?
I say 500, maybe.
Old warriors like me are a force to be reckoned with.
And right now, your only plan to reckon with is to try and fight them head to head.
Did research. Why would she fake evidence on Bigfoot?
Because I reckon she found the real thing.
Don't reckon I've got much use for your ideas on how to do it.
More, I reckon.
Yes. We are gonna have to find another way to get that money, okay?
Well, then I reckon ain't too much of a problem for our friend here to rummage up. Ain't that so, DB?
Prescribe. Prescribe.
Prescribe.
Prescribe.
Prescribe.
Ear pain is the most widely prescribed prescription medication in this country.
Just a mild sedative prescribed by Dr. Tengredi. Prescribed by Dr. Tengredi. Prescribed by Dr. Tengredi.
You said you saw Ben before he went to school. That's when you prescribed the oxycodone.
Yes.
Hey, from the looks of things, you ought to prescribe yourself a little something.
Had it been available back then, I would have prescribed it for Emily after she miscarried.
Doctors are men who prescribe medicines of which they know little.
Oh, there.
For which we prescribe the 3 Bs, bed, balsam, and broth.
Oh. For your insomnia.
For which you prescribed medication.
Yes.
Morphine.
Lance, he's not prescribed to you. That's a felony.
What? This is ridiculous.
I've prescribed alpha blockers and set you up in our free clinic.
Actually, your insurance did.
What do I do?
I can prescribe you something.
Crew. Crew.
Crew. Crew. Crew.
That's different. He runs a crew. Preys on local shop owners and...
Was this it? That's all we found. The rest must be with the woman that ran the crew. I don't think so, man.
Melinda and I worked together out in Portland 20 years back. Always had a good crew.
We have to send a message. I take out a mark and Dante set it up with his crew.
I can find it.
Yeah, look, Alphonse is there with Long Gordon.
I'm gonna call the rest of the crew and get them down there, right?
No. And what about others? Cleaning crew, volunteers, garbage man?
Miss Norris, when you worked on this film, were there rules for the crew as to how to handle potential jumpers?
He solves import and export problems for the Medicis. It's his business to know every boat that comes in and out of Pisa. He could find you a ship and a crew.
Welcome, Sky Crew.
Join us.
Why are you here, Indra?
Because you are also tree crew.
And how could Bobby's crew know? How did anyone know where you would be?
All right, then. We got a crew. We'll hit the place tomorrow. Standard smash and grab. You know the drill.
Accomplish.
Accomplish. Accomplish. Accomplish.
Accomplish.
Got it. Fly the plane. Don't be ridiculous. It has to be something she can actually accomplish. Accomplish.
A girl on the Clipper Horizon made it happen.
Really?
Riley's taking the bait. Callan is done in 2 hours what easily could have taken 2 years to accomplish. Infiltrate a paranoid extremist group.
Why, then you could go on with your work. Just think of all you could accomplish.
I'm not gonna go, so I think that will accomplish the not going.
So I guess that means you can't go out tonight?
Women can accomplish a shocking number of things while sloughing endometrial lining.
It's forbidden from, you know.
I can absolutely tell him that we think he's too young, but I don't think it's going to do any good.
Well, then the least we can do is go search his room, and if we find any more of these, we'll confiscate them.
And that will accomplish what?
Look, I'm sorry he's dead. But I don't even know what the hell not Penny's boat means.
Calling Jack accomplishes nothing.
It would accomplish warning him.
Why are you still here? I mean, when we met, you said you would only be in Berlin for 1 week.
The job I'm on is proving harder to accomplish than I thought.
Oh.
We've got time.
We are out of time. Semak must be dealt with before he learns the truth.
And the only way you can think to accomplish that is for Alex to die.
Chairman, we tried. His assistant said he was on sabbatical, although we distinctly heard his office window open and shut.
Gentlemen, there's a task I'm trying to accomplish here, and I'm having trouble doing it.
A neophyte such as you wouldn't know these things, but I do. I have other ways to accomplish our goal.
Income. Income.
Income. Income.
Income.
Maker. So when you got into business school, you needed a source of income. Something to pay your tuition.
Lawsuits. Each one with a lucrative stream of income.
And how did that not score you free hot dogs for life? CNRI gives low-income people access to the legal system. Without them,
What? They only give sodas to low-income people with a bunch of chemicals in them to sterilize you. That's why I only drink water.
Property. No, I can't say her name. There are conditions.
Conditions? Could I make a guess as to your income?
States we're in, I would suggest there is no such thing. If we don't find a way to earn an income, and soon, we will lose what little we have left of a crew. Or worse.
Well, now I have to become mayor. It seems I'll need the income.
Losing the company wasn't your fault. It was mine.
Versus Dunleavy. The state charged a real estate developer for turning away low-income tenants based on his so-called morality.
Vendors selling their wares, bringing home a modest income.
Okay. Maybe found out he was getting fired and was looking for another source of income.
Doesn't seem to be anything unusual about these victims.
Up and down the income scale. I mean, scattered all over the place.
charity for traffic accident victims with an annual income of 50,000 euros.
Rack.
Rack. Rack. Correct.
Rack.
Your last present is on a towel rack in the bathroom.
delve into our facilities, emerge a star.
Our hat rack fell through the window. Well, we do have a hat rack. We thought it would force us to wear our hats more.
Hello. Yeah, you're beautiful. Your size is on that rack. It's on that rack. It's on that rack.
Oh, no, we're not looking for a dress.
Okay, there's a knife rack directly to your right.
What are you doing?
This rack just moved.
I just saw two hobos fighting over a rack of lamb.
So while the top rack's being fired, the rack below that one can be loaded. And the rack below that one is allowed to cool.
Paul, don't rack your brain. I'm not asking you to get involved.
In a Ferrari full of flight attendants?
Yeah, he's probably trying to rack up his frequent flyer miles.
Get over.
You know the rule. Turn your back on the rack, you're under attack.
Here we go. Pills and spices.
You have a spice rack full of pills? You gotta cook me dinner sometime.
Clean glass is coming through.
Nice rack. Now I know why guys like saying that to me.
At first, it's a blast. Buying a dish rack, hanging a sheet up to turn one room into two.
Booth says I shouldn't trust you.
And why is that?
Well, he says you like to rack them up.
Rack 'em up. How vulgar.
Status. Status.
Status. Status.
Status. Status report. Status report.
Green's good to go.
Hired gun, ready and waiting.
Taylor, rock and roll.
Vulture team, Nathan James, I need a status update. Status update. Status update.
TAO status. Oh, status. Oh, status. Did we hit that sub or not?
We cannot confirm, sir.
George, what's your status? Guard up.
The Senate is stuck on the status quo. You and William, you'd be new blood.
Just collapsed.
What is your status? What is your status? Red 1. What is your status?
You guys not breathing. Come on, breathe.
I'm not getting a status light on this thing.
Over.
Sniper 3, TOC, say pause, over.
Status, General. They're throwing everything they can think of at us, but we're holding our own.
Well, she's got a new status update. She is now Clarice Schwartz, married to a dude, and 7 months pregnant.
Oh! Samurai, status now.
Roll okay, got the victim out.
Status.
I'm okay, Chief.
Building's a little wobbly. Still coming apart.
Reflect.
Reflect.
Reflect. Reflect.
Reflect.
Mirrors reflect our mood, our desire, our essence.
The point of writing an essay is to put your thoughts down on paper and see the gaps and reflect and reflect and reflect.
The laws of nature have changed, and until the laws of man change to reflect that, we can only do what we feel is right.
I believe in what we're doing. I believe the record doesn't accurately reflect the strength of this team and where we're going to be at the end of the season.
Listen, me jumping in at this point, it in no way reflects my feelings about the job you've been doing. I just wanted you to know that.
And that's the name you have to embrace because that's the name that reflects how the world sees you. So,
These concave petals, they reflect sound over a much larger area.
No, why would a killer do that?
reflects a particular mindset. That of an individual who tended to Trent's needs not out of empathy, but out of a craving for his dependence. And that mindset, in turn, reflects a particular kind of killer.
You see it, the left eye. See how it reflects the light.
I know you've only been on my team for a couple weeks now, but everything you do reflects on me.
Stand up like a man does. It reflects poorly when my son is AWOL.
Understand you had quite a day today. It's calls like that reflect very well on this house.
I don't give a damn how it reflects.
Page 1. These bullet points reflect the key planks at the center of our bill.
Quest.
Quest. Quest.
Quest.
Quest.
Quest, you unknowingly act as an agent for the Ottoman Sultan.
My quest is not a pursuit of anyone's purpose.
The Pilgrims were born to help us in our heroic quest for survival.
When you're an animal, life's a balancing act. Each day's a quest to find food to survive.
They are sainted now. They are the sainted ones in this quest for freedom.
Dream quest or not, you know, anytime you need help, I got you.
Oh, when I lose. Be angry and never want to see my face. That won't help me on my quest to become you.
I mean, for serial killers, every murder results in a further refinement of their fantasy, a quest for perfection.
This corner of the land. But when the curse ends, our quest will resume. And when it does, Regina will truly have lost everything.
You kidding? A trip with you, first plane ride, and we're going on a quest like in the book.
Hint.
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 Hint. Hint.
Created some delicious lettuce wraps prepared with very little oil and a hint of ginger.
No, doesn't mean I have to go out with him.
No, can't he take a hint? Can't he take a hint? Can't he take a hint?
They've got to get all the way across these frozen mountains before they'll find even the first hint of food.
She had had many a hint from Mr. Knightley.
It didn't take long to realize this girl could not take a hint.
It's awfully crowded in here with 3 people.
I don't mind.
A hint of cloves, perhaps.
Also, just the faintest hint of anger, so I knew he resented his protege.
I just peed.
There's also a hint of Venice.
Would you like a hint?
No.
His crime involves a litter of purebred Yorkshire
I
Terriers.
said I don't want a hint.
Acids to increase, which gives rise to a really sweet, woodsy flavor with just a hint of a kind of spicy charm, which I enjoy.
She said it was getting late. In case you missed that, that was a hint.
Andrew, that wasn't a hint.
Plus toffee and caramel with a hint of cinnamon.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
The lady dothn't.
Mr. Mendoza is present.
Under protest.
Cornwall is present.
Under protest. Under protest. Under protest.
Mr. Ullman is present. Mr. Walsh is present. Ms. Gouster is present. And Mr. Haas is present.
Portia was president of her high school class. Mom. And she resigned in protest over funding for the girls' sports program. She led a school-wide walkout.
We're here on the Lower East Side for the Grand Street housing protest.
False.
I didn't think about that at the time. I just figured he wanted to stage a protest or something. So I told him.
You and I will quietly go our separate ways. And I'll thank you. Not to protest.
First assignment is to determine if any of the victims were targeted because of their involvement in the protest. Uniforms are bringing families to the precinct as we speak.
Groups and community businesses?
Yeah, that's him. He's the one who organized the protest outside the nightclub.
Evidence begs to differ.
His prints are in the system from his arrest at a political protest a decade ago. I ran him against the partial. It's not a match.
For the shooting of Ferris Air Flight 637 to protest the People's Republic of China's treatment of me for betraying and abandoning me.
Hey, Danny just called. He's at HPD. He just got a hit on a protest organizer you're gonna want to take a look at.
American teacher.
Hi.
Congress has to take this seriously.
Dramatic.
Dramatic. Dramatic. Dramatic.
Dramatic.
This guy. So dramatic. So dramatic. So dramatic.
This is Nihal. Is this true?
Oh, yeah. It's really quite dramatic. Dramatic.
My reputation is destroyed. So dramatic. So dramatic. So dramatic. To me! To Karen! To Karen.
And just what the fuck are you?
I'm the one who's dealt with evil all my life.
That's a little dramatic.
And the wife of a local fisherman, the black wife of a black local fisherman. How do you think that's gonna look?
You're being dramatic.
Oh, am I?
Also, I'm not on ecstasy.
No way.
I've had some very dramatic relationships.
It was obviously you. That was a dramatic pause.
Really? Helen, I'm being dramatic? How's this for dramatic? Helen, the wedding is off!
So I had to...
Jeopardize the financial future of this company?
That's a bit dramatic, isn't it?
As soon as he breathed in all that cigar smoke, he was a dead man. The motorcycle accident was an unnecessary dramatic flourish.
Been to some prison camp?
Oh, come on, don't be so dramatic. I mean, some of these places actually look fun.
Sorry. Things are just getting so dramatic.
Detail.
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 I'll let you go. Jack's office will handle the details. The details. The details.
It's just plastic pieces.
Yeah, but you gotta put them together and paint all the details. Details.
Well, we're a startup company and we're launching our very first retail store, so there's a lot of details that you'll be responsible for. They're only asking me details about things I know nothing about. Okay, June, this has all the details that Han sent his mom about you.
Tell me everything that happened, leave out no details.
It was...
I came by to discuss wedding details with, while we had intercourse.
We're having sex every night. I think I deserve details.
You have more details than most.
We seek shelter.
Take a look at some of the fine details up here.
She doesn't even work here anymore, and she's still out there trying to help her patients.
What the hell are you doing sharing patient details with someone who doesn't even work